how actually AI can apply for patterns. Okay, so here is the reference actually recent trend at Google. Actually, trend BERT is the most recent advanced like a natural language processing algorithm. So I most of my program use this one. So they train this one mostly for the pattern text. So they train using the pattern like documentation. So you have a US video, you're Googling, there are a lot of the pattern data. So actually they train using this one. So no more company cannot do it because it'll take a lot of time. Like they using the TPU, and then they have 100 hours of the computing time, and then a lot of cost. But they provide already trained, so we can use this pre-trained data to do our analysis. So thanks to Google, so I apply all my application is that based on the pre-trained bot model, because I don't have any computing power for doing this kind of thing. And another thing is that the previous most people are doing some, if you are in the pattern area, you want to find out the search for the prior art or other like search like in if you are the pattern art, you want the embedded search like innovate. If you have an innovation party, then you want to find out the what other like innovation out there through the pattern application. So there are many ways that you can many propose that you need to search. And then the previous way to search is only keyword. And then recently there was the semantic search. Semantic search means that you can provide whole sentence, and then they try to find out the similar sentence. So they will provide a more like a better way to find out the similar context. So what you want to looking at. So I also going to show you this demo. And then also like a fine tuning of the, so you can fine tuning means that if you also train more using your small data to more try to get the more accurate data. So the pattern BERT is like that. So they provide this pre-training data. And then also they want to like, for example, you are in the legal area, not just patents. So there are, if you do like for litigation, and then the pain in the leg is a discovery, and the discovery in the discovery stage, you need to like look at the hundreds of thousands of documents to find out the evidence for your litigation. So in that case, like a legal, like if you want to find out the legal, like some case, the previous case, and then you to lead all these text is a pain in the leg. And then up to now, it's only can do is manually. So you need a manual manpower to do that. It's a huge course, but you can do automatically summarize what you want to do learn. So this is a recent trend. And then this is the one actually that you can even generate some like a claim. So they try to mimic like a pattern tree and then provide a seed word and then try to like write down some claim term. So this was a recent trend. So based on this recent trend, and then I using their like open source, I developed my own pattern application, pattern AI application for patterns. So this is all I write down every code and then apply my experience, because I have intensive experience in this area. So for example, that I'm going to the pattern world cloud, and I see like I showed you before that I did AI blockchain pattern all over the world. So I'm going to give you the what kind of the like keywords that they show innovation keyword in the AI blockchain pattern. And I'm going to show the semantic search. So I'm going to using my like a previous experience. So I'm going to using like a AI. I'm going to provide a specific AI abstract and then try to find out the similar pattern out there. The similar abstract that they provide. I'm going to show you live demo. And then I also in the heavily work on mobile wireless communication area. And then this is the you have all of you maybe have a Fuji LT smartphone. So in that area, the issue is the standard essential pattern if you're in the AI in the pattern area. So I'm going to using this semantic search that using the standard specification, what kind of pattern actually they are standard essential patterns. So this is the one that I figure out how to do. And then text translation, this is recently you see the automatic machine translation. So I did using the open source to like English pattern, German, French, Chinese, Japanese. Unfortunately, I could not find Korean language model. I I don't know why. So I sent a letter to the founder of this company, actually developed this one. Why not Korean? Even I found that they have a Congo. They have like more than 100 country except Korea. So anyway, and then patent text summarization. So I already told you like a legal patent technical text summarization. And the classifier, if you're working in the pattern analysis like landscaping and other like mining or other like innovation management, and then you already experience this kind of thing. So I'm providing like automatic classification based on CPCs. This is the I've been coded divided by some specific industry area that if you have a pattern and then pattern office provide this one. So the AI can automatically classify by CPC, actually I developed. And then RFI technical landscaping. So once you have developed manually that some specific example that what kind of the like subcategory of the RFI technology, like a tag technology or the reader technology. Actually, I'm also expertise in technology. So I provide this data and then they automatically landscape your patent. And then also here is like a standard essential pattern. I explained that provide, you want to find out what kind of the standard essential pattern out there. So I was recently working on 5Z, so I can do the 5Z. And then this is the one like innovation management area. So I'm going to predict like recent trend was this key technology, AI, blockchain, IoT convergence. So I'm trying to find out the what kind of convergence out there through the pattern like a search and analysis. So this is one trial there. And claim generation, I'm going to generate AI blockchain pattern claim automatic generation here. And then here I could not do because of the to do this. Actually, if you are in the licensing, monetization area or litigation part, and then most important thing like a valuation or the litigation evidence that they call like a claim chart. So claim chart means that you compare your patent claim with respect to your standard specification or some product or service. So this one actually I have an intensive experience, but it very hard to do and then time consuming and the best costly. That I when I did this one, actually the one providing one claim chart is around the $2,000 I ask. So I want to do this automatically. Then I know how to do because of this my experience, but I need is I pre-trained, fine-tuned the BERT GPT model using specific standard specifications that actually there are hundreds of thousands of documents out there. So like if I have a Google like computing power, then I can do that. So this might be interesting part, and I'm looking for some partner that look at my whatever Dean has have done, and then if you have something in the pattern area or AI area, they want to like collaborate with me. That like if you provide a computing power either or some of the like your specific interesting area, or the if you have some expertise in the like algorithm, and then we can develop the more elaborate what I have did. This is actually I did for myself, and then we can provide a more advanced one. And my friend is that I want to also be open source, the community can benefit from our work, and then it will be much can be beneficial to the innovation of this kind of high tech area. Okay, so I have only 10 minutes I can spend, but actually I'm trying to show as many as live information possible. The trivial one because all these actually I did. So live demo is only is a matter of time. So I'm trying to show this is the one actually it's just to show you convenience way. So what I did was actually provide like more than 1,000 pattern in is I search in AI and blockchain. And then I'm curious about the what their keywords looks like, what their so this is you may see like a cloud, like a word cloud. So for example, this is the one blockchain. And then if you see that like a blockchain, if this is the title, so it has 10,000, around the 10,000 blockchain pattern title. I put it and then they provide like a blockchain. And then you see that transaction or the distributed. If you are in the blockchain area, you will distribute ledgers, authentication, or something like that. You really have you that what kind of innovation is focused on. Maybe let's just see that the weather it'll take time, but so this is when I connect to my database. So this makes me take some time to actually live demo, but I want to show you some snapshot in here. Okay, so I'll show you AI case here. So here is you look at the all AI data. So they look at it. And then you see the patent number, title, abstract claim. And then this is a CPC class. And then some data processing. Okay, so like for the AI patent title, what they talk about is like a machine learning and automatic generating, and then image object and analysis data, neural network, something like this. So it helps you what kind of keyword that innovation keywords looks like. Here was a one example that I show you. Okay, this text translation, so I already tested. So I will show you a snapshot. So I provided some English abstract pattern. Actually, this is AI pattern abstraction, and then translate. So it looks like this is Chinese translation. Actually, what I did was uh, here is English to Japanese, English to German, English to French, and English to Chinese. So I can apply that, but unfortunately, I couldn't add for English to Korean here. But if they provide reasonable like translation in using open source. Okay, semantic text summarization. Okay, this is very straightforward because okay, so here is just a legal document like corporate law in New York, and then provide a long paragraph. And then what they're doing is provide a summary. So for example, that a corporation can be incorporated in a like a short summary of your input document. So I check it was very reasonable. And then here is the pattern abstract, and then provide you some abstract here. So it sometimes it's very pain in the neck that you look at the whole, read the whole through the pattern documentation. So usually if you provide some key part, and then they will summarize what the invention looks like through this summarization. This part actually this is very never tried. Actually, I provide the technical specification for LTE patent. So this is the one, for example, this is a RFID connection. This is a handover part of the mobile communication. So if you move your location, then your smartphone can automatically hand over from one place to other. They call handover. So this is a standard specification. And then because you see that this is not the traditional paragraph. So there is not like a traditional paragraph, right? You see that this is a technical document, and try that. Oh, it looks reasonable. There's some like a UI is RFID connected when I look at I know what the technical term, and then I found that, oh, this is very helpful. So I use this summarization when I using in the try to find a standard essential pattern. I provide this document, not this document. This is very complicated to understand. So this can be used as input to your further analysis. So I use this input in the classification to find out the standard essential pattern, providing some standard specifications. So I provide this summary of the standard specification, and the AI can find out which pattern actually corresponds to this standard technology. So it was a very, very useful. Okay, and then semantic search. This part is also very, very clear. So this semantic part is doing is that here. So basically what you're doing is that you provide some sentence, and then this BERT model is try to understand your sentence. So they call tokenization and embedding. This is just to try to, this AI model try to understand your sentence, right? Through the changing the computer can understand, and then try to find a context. So what they're doing is a context analysis, not just the sentence by. They try to understand your word based on your context, because word meaning can change through the context. So they try to understand your context. So train using your data, and then they know about what kind of context of all of your trained data, and then you provide the testing sentence like in here. So core is I provide for example, this is a RFID technology related pattern, and then this is one I told you standard specification. And then what it's doing is it try to find out the similar ones. So for example, that if you provide this standard specification, here is that I got this one from the text summarization. So it is summarized from the AI. I provided this technology specification document, and then most similar sentence in corpus. So they find out the abstract. So this one abstract relate to one specific pattern number. This is another one. So the most similar one. So if you provide, for example, this part of the specification, and then this AI can figure out what kind of the standard essential pattern out there through the similarity search, semantic similarity between context of this query and your testing. So in your database, they will give you the 3 most close one related to this technology. Fantastic, right? Because I preparing this talk, I learned a lot, because this one actually I did before manually. So I spent a lot of time doing manually, and then I learned that this most recent progress AI might be applied, and then I was curious, but actually done, and then I found that actually working. I was very fantastic that fantastic that I can develop more And then there may be some way that actually have this industry in the innovation and the litigation and in all the patent area and the innovation area can benefit from this kind of approach. So this is open source, right? I just using open source, and then I put my knowledge and then some algorithm that developed for myself, and then they can be provide very, very useful thing here. Okay. And then pattern classification here. This classifier is also very useful to many things. So maybe I cannot show you all things here, but I can show you the snapshot what I did. The same thing, like you have a data, like for example, I provide a 4 type of test what I did. So here that see that I provide I actually this data you should provide. So you should be know that even AI, you need to train this AI, then you need to provide the data. That's a human effort. And then there is like a garbage in, garbage out in all data science, even AI. So the quality of data, input data is the most critical factor, right? So still human need, right? So human should be collaborate with AI, because this is my more than 20 years of experience in technical and patent area. All of this data quality all depend on my expertise and my experience. So it's critical part is actually this data. How you can provide data is actually human expertise. But recently I found that there are some ways little bit that this part also can help from AI. So automatically generate this input data. So there, I found that there were several research that actually that they tried to fill this gap, because, for example, if you want to train the like a medical data, then there is like a medical doctor should be involved initially to figure out for each image whether they actually has disease or not, right? That's a human intervention. And then there's a pain in neck and then costly. For example, that Google did like they generate 100,000 the eye image, and then they tried like in India, then figure out which one. Just look at your eye, and then they figure out whether you have a like a disease like a high blood pressure or the diabetes or whatever. But actually, initially they need to generate training data. I heard that they actually employ like medical doctors and experts, and then they spend over $1 million to do that. So this part will be very, very critical. That then I found that there are some way can have. So once you generate a small number of the very good data, and after that actually you can simulate the input data. So that's what I actually I tried for myself. I couldn't have enough time to show you today, and then maybe I can do that for it's specifically for my special like a specialist area like this. So this will be very interesting. So what I did was this all data actually I already did in my previous pattern related analysis. So for example, here is a AI data. And then what it's doing is like I provide AI data here. So here is the data. And then here is like I want to find out the like by their CPC classification. So this is AI data, and this is most like a popular CPC classification that I got in my pattern landscape. So I provide this data, and then what you're doing is that like classify that which pattern is related to which CPC, like that, and then train that, and then train like this, and then what they figure out is that if you provide is like some specific like a pattern, and then they will figure like they classify as a AB, ABI, AI, BI. So for example, that their expectation is that the first part is should be. So here is how you can figure out is the like, oh, okay, so this might be AI and then something like this. So you can figure out the which part is which and which part is hit. So let me see whether I can have time to show you actual demo here. But actually the same thing. So the second thing is that here is classified by the CPC. This one classify actually the I provide data like for this part actually I classify this A tag reader subsystem application testing method. I did. So I manually did. I look at individual pattern and then figure out the classify. And then I provide this as input data to train this AI. And then they can learn that if you provide some other like a testing pattern, and then they will give you some answer that your pattern is related whether class A, like a tag or reader or service system or application. So it's a principle is like that. So you train your data and then they try to learn as a classify your pattern by this class. And then you provide some arbitrary pattern and then figure out whether they are corresponding to which part of this class. This is the idea. The third one is that I provide them as a like a standard specification. So this one actually I intensively worked on this LT standard essential pattern. So I provide this data. So each pattern relates to some specific standard specification, like this one. This is like LT standard specification. And then if you provide some arbitrary specification, so for example, I provided before was TS36331. They are corresponding to like handover related that. I provide you summary before. So I provide, and then you provide some specific sentence related to some specific this specification, and then they will give you the your specification relate to which pattern it looks like. So this provide classify by this standard. So this will be very useful that you are working in. For example, that I work on this one intensively before. There was a lot of the litigation among smartphone manufacturers like Samsung, Apple, LG, Google, and every company related to smartphone actually have a litigation. And then I was at the time was very busy to provide them consulting about the which pattern is corresponding to which standard specification, something like that. But now AI can help you to automatically can do if they can reasonably train this AI, that they can give you some answer that whether they are standardized pattern or not. This will be very useful if you're working in that area. This is one actually I tried. This is one was that actually try to find out the innovation trend. So my literature survey showed that there are trends like convergence among key technologies like convergence between AI, blockchain, convergence between AI, blockchain, IoT, AI, IoT, and blockchain IoT. So I find out through the keyword search for each related pattern. And then I provided them and then try to find an arbitrary pattern and then whether they are within this convergence. So this is I was very interesting because I got this data and how I can utilize them. And then there was like a 40,000 AI pattern. And then if I wanted to manually, then I just calculate and then it'll take a year. So I tried to find out the way to do this one, and then I found that that this area can be done in the manually. It can be done in the before manually, in automatically in the AI. So this part is like that. So maybe I have only a few minutes, so I will show you final thing that maybe I can show you final one is most important thing related to claim generation. So I will show you live demo. Okay, so this is most important. Whether AI can generate pattern, right? This is recently there was a lot of debate like whether AI developed invention is an invention or not, something like that. But I think that my conclusion, you don't need to worry about it. We are still not there. But anyways, it's a like a interesting trial, and then they apply the most recent language model GPT-2 that I already explained you that, and then they train them in their specific language and then specific patterns. So they trained by all the previous pattern. Actually, this Google Colab is free, but mine is some paid account because of the want to use more resources. So I pay some amount of money monthly to use this one, but otherwise it's free. So this is fantastic, free software and free computing ware, and then you can expand for your if you have idea. They asked me to put some seed words, so I provide some AI, an artificial intelligence emotion chatbot. Looks like that. Let's see how they create patterns. So they train for the specific for the claim terms. And then like a method for improving a web pages, page loading time, comprising. If you are working in the pattern, like a pattern attorney or some related pattern expert, and then it looks like try to like emulate some like Rengizing claim, and then they try to give you something looks like a claim term, but if you look at detail, but there are still a lot of need to be improved on. But anyway, it's a fantastic. They can give you something that artificial intelligence can develop something related to claim. And then here is a blockchain fieldwork. So I provide like some blockchain one. Like a blockchain-based asset management system and management entity comprising the management entity receiving. Looks like, yeah, very similar. Yeah. So sometimes they can provide the answer like that. So it depending on their condition. Sometimes I found that if you try many times and then it depend on some certain situation, like, but anyway they want to generate something. Okay, that's it. Okay, topic. So I wanna wrap up this part. So I will show you all the like state of art AI, and then and specifically for the application for the patent area, and then I show you all my demo. Actually, this is most up to date technology that I have known. and then I try my best from my previous knowledge in pattern like expertise and experience, and then try to generate. And I found that some area, yeah, pattern can be some area maybe replaced some human can do, but mostly can support. Then most of the like time consuming thing, some area like time consuming some area that need for the like a lot of the manual effort, it can be replaced by AI. Definitely, I can. For example, my these programs can be more elaborate and can be provided to this kind of thing. Even you cannot buy, you don't need to buy the like very expensive tools available in out there, commercially available. Because I know that I have a comment like this is my comment, not yet. We actually the actually still AI pattern you don't worry about, because one of my I have some know about some partner in law firm, and I show this one and I say, oh, I'm already in the over 55, and I hope that I want to retire safely. You don't worry about that now. So this is still not there, but in the future, who knows? And but definitely I can say that AI can help a lot in the pattern area, and then let's see what will happen in the near future. And then just let me know that through email or whatever, contact me in the LinkedIn or the Facebook, that opinion about your whatever show you. And then I welcome that what I told you, that I need some collaborator to more elaborate my work in the pattern application area. And they're like welcome if you are interested in collaboration, providing computing resources, or you have more expertise in AI algorithm, or more expertise in computer science, welcome. Also, you are in the pattern area that I show you my example, but you have a specific, have in mind your application area, you have expertise more than me in some specific area, then share the data, and then we can try my this computer code to over your specific problem, then I can welcome to that. So that's it for